And so I took a hard look at myself, and I decided to go back to school and start from scratch. And I moved back home. That was a big move for me. I always lived on my own from 18 on, and then I moved back home at 26. And I went back to school, and I stayed in a 8 by 8 room in my old house. I sacrificed. I worked 2 jobs while going to school for about 5 years. And and I finally got my first job out of accounting. And I decided to go with accounting just because, and this is just advice to people that are looking for their passion or to know what they would like in the future. For me, accounting was one of the only things that kept me present. It kept me out of my head, and it kept me focused and present in the moment. And just speaking for me, it's very hard to find those things, in this crazy world we live in, right? We're always, either, thinking ahead or thinking behind us, to stay present and truly, that takes a special skill. That's why they said I was actually watching the other day. I'm a big basketball guy. I was rewatching Last Dance, with Michael Jordan, and they said what made Michael Jordan so great is his ability to stay present and forget everything. He was all about staying present in the moment. That's why him and Phil Jackson, the Zen master, right? They were always about, kind of staying present, meditating and being there. So like accounting was that for me. Like I was able to there was something about it that I loved, and I like the balance of things, right? If it happens on this side, it has to happen on this side, right? And it's not more so math. Everybody thinks math. It's a puzzle, and problem solving. So I found an knack for it. And when I got out of school, I worked corporate for a number of years. I got some jobs and experience, and I worked in New York City and Manhattan at the World Trade Center, and with some other firms. And I got tired of making other people money, especially after working for myself, and working in corporate is a different beast. It is a different beast. I remember I used to walk into, you would have these monthly meetings, where you would have to answer to high executives. And I remember the week before I would have ulcers in my stomach just because of how much pressure they put on you. And I remember asking myself, can I do this for the rest of my life? And I remember I told my wife that, I'm thinking about quitting my job. And I was even going to switch careers at that point because I didn't know if I could deal with the pressure. And it sounds crazy, but I didn't know if it was for me. And we had just bought our house, right? We were like 6 months into buying our house, and I had no idea what I was going to do. And my wife, my rock, she supported me whatever I wanted to do. And luckily, a guy that I consulted for reached out to me, and he said, listen, why don't you come work for me? I've always wanted you to come. I love your skill set. And I would love to have you, but I can't pay you what you were making out and working in the city. So I thought about it, and I did it. I took less money for my sanity. I came back to Long Island, and it was the best thing and best choice I ever made because I did so well working for this gentleman. It's a small business where we handle accounting for small businesses as opposed to corporate accounting. And I learned more working in this field than I ever did in corporate. And I was able to, my boss, who is now my partner, he put it out there for all of us to say, listen, it's here for the taking. If you bring in enough business, I will make it worth your while. I'll make you a partner, or we'll think of something. And I brought in enough business in 2 years where I was able to dictate, where I came to him and said, listen, I want to call the shots in my own destiny, and I want you to come in partner in my own consulting business that I've always had. And if you say no, well, I'm going to go out on my own. And he decided not to, and he became partners with me. And the rest was history, man. And 3 years later, here I am now, and serving as an outsourced CFO for all types of businesses. We mainly work a lot, though, with construction companies, helping them out with their finances and helping them reach profit levels so they can sustain and move forward with their projects. And real estate developers, we're in a lot of niches, but now work is not work. I say that to everybody. The weekends aren't the weekends to me. Every day is a weekend for me,
Man, they say you do what you love. You never have to work a day in your life. And you specifically mentioned construction companies. So if somebody is looking for an outsourced CFO, some people even call it a fractional CFO. Do